before I get started, this is my audience. Alright, I'm Peter Ryan, and I did my project on should college athletes be paid. According to Mark Edelman, Division I college athletes devote around 43.3 hours to their sport. That is 3.3 more than your average full-time job. Their scholarships are actually worth less than most full-time jobs. So they're actually losing out when people say that their sport is their job. They actually don't get anything really in return. I mean, they get education, obviously, but like they don't have anything to show for it if they don't go to the NFL or NBA or the pros. Some school athletes can't actually support themselves. They don't have food or gas to get to the practices that are mandatory. You need food to live. They aren't really paid for their efforts. They need more than just perks to live, and they need to be happy and healthy to maintain a functioning body and to keep the spectators entertained during their sports. Their contributions to the school income is significant. If the sport actually isn't making profit, it usually gets cut from the school. So all the ones that you hear about, like Division I football, makes quite a bit of money. The Rose Bowl had 28.2 million viewers, and the Sugar Bowl had 28.3 million viewers. That was the most watched cable program in all of cable. It's even more than the Super Bowl, actually. So that's an interesting fact. They make revenue also through non-ticket sales, through like increased enrollments, spread of a good name for the school, and sales of memorabilia. Also, even video games, like the players get like their numbers and their stats put in the game without their consent. The school generally makes 10% of royalties on jerseys. If a jersey sells at $60, the royalty comes off at a gross cost, which is $30, which means the school makes about $3 per jersey. And, I mean, you see jerseys all over the football stadium, so for each one of those, the school is making $3. They claim they make no profit. Some schools actually claim that the base of their success of their athletic teams increases their enrollment in future years. Ohio State won the BCS Bowl, and they have the highest enrollment for the next year. So, their food and time and availability. Food and gas aren't covered in their scholarship, and they're still required to eat and get to practice. Some practices are mandatory, and if they don't make practice, they can get cut from the team. They could lose their scholarship. If you look at it, academic versus athletic scholarship, a kid who comes to school on an athletic scholarship, if he misses his practice, he can lose his scholarship. A kid who comes academically, if he misses class, he still will have his scholarship. So, Shazib Napier of Connecticut, he said that there were some nights when he went to bed starving, and I mean, just to show that there are kids actually out there that are starving. The simple solution would be to ensure that these kids make practices and be fed. That would just solve the problem at hand, get kids back on their feet. They practice upward to 60 hours a week. If they have a full 16-hour credit schedule and the rule of 3 hours out of class for every hour in, that's 48 hours. If you total that out, it's 124 hours per week that you have to dedicate to sport and school. And you have to maintain a decent GPA. So that leaves you 6.25 hours per day for these athletes. So, I mean, imagining you have to sleep, that leaves you no room to do anything else. You can't have a job to actually get income. They have a minimum GPA that they have to keep in order to stay on the football team and maintain their GPA, so they actually have to study. Without cutting education, they need to understand what these kids go through every day. They make sacrifices to their health. These kids get beat up every day. Getting injured If they get injured on the field, I believe that they should have like some sort of like health insurance that the school provides for them. So like say you tear your rotator cuff and you need surgery, the school should help you because you're playing for them, helping them get revenue. So like if they have some sort of health insurance, so you don't have to dig deep out of your pocket. If there was like a sports buffet, like every week that all the athletes come to, if you have like maybe like a minimum GPA just to like keep it so you're actually doing school and sport. They burn more calories than the average student, and they're required to have the same or better standards than the rest of the students. So, if you're happy, you're going to be better. The NCAA basketball players are held to a higher standard than intramural basketball players. They're doing the same thing for the school, playing sports for the school, and they're held to a higher standard. Oppressive rules are set onto the kid. If he gets a car ride to practice to further himself, he can lose his scholarship and possibly his chance at making it into the professional league. So, I mean, if he's trying to better himself, he can still get screwed with these rules. That's a whole lot of pressure, just knowing that everyone's watching you all the time. You can't make any mistakes ever, and you're bound to slip up every once in a while, and kids get screwed over for this all the time. It is undeniable that the NCAA rules, as written, literally go as far as prohibiting college students from accepting even the most basic needs of life under the guise of amateurism. They say you can't accept food from a third party, even if like your uncle came in to buy you dinner one day. You can't accept it. You have to pay it for it yourself, or else you can lose your scholarship. You can get thrown under the bus into the NCAA's way. If the rules are loosened just a little bit so the kids don't have to micromanage their life all over, things would run smoother, the kids would be happier, and the NCAA would be more appealing to the general public, and more kids would come out to play sports in the future. It doesn't take too much to change the lives of these players and their family. People just need to realize how much they put in and what they get in return from the school. My ideas are to simplify the lives of these athletes are a weekly buffet to ensure that these kids are getting a healthy diet every week, because most of them can't afford food. Health care, so that they don't have to dig out of their own pockets to pay for the abuse that they're putting on for the school. A simple allowance per week. If like you get like maybe like like $80 a week, we get to like document it like the whole time. So like just so the kids have a little spending money, so they can go, I don't know, buy Taco Bell, or I don't know, get gas to go to practice, just so they have something, because they can't actually maintain a job because they don't have the time. So maybe just like a little something to get them by. Alright, this is my presentation. Thank you for watching. Oh, you're good.